Yeah, here we go. Boom, boom, bummer. Yeah, hello guys. Let's actually see this is welcome to my stream, and this stream is what we gonna do is actually we gonna do some binge watch all this YouTube content. I thought I'm going to binge watch this alone, but I felt like let's just go live and start streaming the stuff I watch alone so that you guys can also come and watch with me. So it makes me feel like I'm not alone actually. So yeah, let's get into this. There will be no much talking and interaction going on, just seeing the video and just reacting to it, not basically reacting, just seeing the video and just consuming the content. That's what we are actually gonna do here. Thank you for coming to my stream. That's my TED talk. Okay, so this guy's video is actually quite low in sound. So the one thing which comes to this creator economy and all kinds of this thing is, so when your audio sounds way lower, people tend to move on with the video. If they click the video, like if you
Disclaimer: do not harass anyone featured in this video. Thank you.
see the voice is coming out pretty high, then what the actual video starts out like. So we want to get into the viewer's mind so that we can actually grab the attention of the viewer with the sound. Sound is basically more important than the visual things, right? For me it has been that way. So yeah, let's go on.
Started another drama, and I really didn't mean to this time. I wanted to start a conversation, and as much as I succeeded in that, I seem to have caused problems too, and I want to do my best to address it. If you haven't already seen, I published a video about 3 weeks ago called Don't Contribute to Open Source. The goal of this video wasn't specifically to say no one should ever contribute to open source. It was to change the narrative that I've been seeing for a while now, since all the way back in 2014. It seemed like we were treating open source contributions as a necessary stepping stone to getting a job, but that's not how it works at all. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, definitely watch the video. I'm really, really proud of it, but I want to just keep rehashing those points. I want to talk about the results, what happened, the impact, and the things that I've only recently learned have been going on since. Turns out this video started a huge conversation and a moment of reflection in a community that I honestly hadn't been too tuned into before. That is, of course, the Indian developer community. When I made that video before, I was not thinking about what regions people were in when they were making those contributions. It was just not on my mind at all.
India mentioned.
It was entirely about the quality of
India mentioned
the contributions, not the people themselves. And I never wanted to be about the contributors either, because I felt as though they had been misled by educators, not that they were in some way malicious or harmful. Those creators and those educators need to change the way they express these things. But that was the focus. And I feel like that point was missed a bit. And the video was actually used to go after some of these younger, newer Indian developers. The fact that people are being racist towards Indians about this is genuinely upsetting to me. Some of the best developers I know are younger devs from India who just recently learned how to code. The fact that anyone would write somebody off because of where they're from is genuinely horrifying to me. And if you're that type of person, stop watching my videos. I don't want you here. Get out. Just go. I don't want you here. This blew up way out of proportion. And I just want to try my best to pull us back and understand what we can learn from this moment. Some of the responses to my video were actually really, really good. The two I want to call out are this one from Hitesh, which was actually done in Hindi, so I had to have a few community members translate for me because I obviously don't speak Hindi, as well as this video from Harkrat. Both these videos are great. Highly recommend watching them. I'll link both in the description. The main reason I want to pull these up is they're genuinely reflective. They're thinking not just in terms of how do my videos impact my viewers, but how does this moment impact the perception of Indian developers as a whole. And I feel pretty bad because the goal of my video was never, ever, ever to say Indian devs are bad. I don't even think I said the word Indian in my video. And thankfully, these educators are taking this opportunity to also draw a line in the sand and say, stop doing this. The results actually awesome. I really like the way that Harkrat put it in here, where your contributions should be meaningful to things that you're actually familiar with and using. And he gives a bunch of suggestions on how to do a better job of using open source to grow. One of the examples he gives is shadowing a project. Instead of really contributing, you should fork a project, look at the issues, try fixing them yourself, then wait for one of the core maintainers to fix it, and then compare and contrast how their solution and your solution worked, and try to learn from this. I think that's an awesome suggestion, a great example of how to take advantage of the awesome resources that exist in open source.
Okay.
Sadly,
Shadowing the project, that's not I tried yet. Should try that. Should actually try to do them that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's put that into my notes somewhere else. So actually my phone is used for recording the camera of the stream, so it's quite hard to take note now. So I do actually have a note here, so let me grab and add it to my note. So basically, yeah. What this guy say? Yeah, Theo. Let's see once again.
Of really contributing, you should fork a project, look at the issues, try fixing them yourself, then wait for one of the core maintainers to fix it, and then
Shadowing the project. Take note, guys. That's one of the pretty much great advice I had ever heard. Right? தமிழ்லே பண்ணிடலாமா கம்மம்னு என்ன கைஸ் சொல்றீங்க தமிழ்லே போயிடலாமா
compare and contrast how their solution
ஒன்ஸ் அகேன் ஸோ வருதா இல்லையா வந்துக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கு ஓகே டன் ஓகே வருதா இல்லையா வந்துக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கு ஓகே ஹலோ கைஸ் nobody's gonna know how do they know hello guys hello oh this takes time but Twitch is actually fast compared to other YouTube streams hello okay that's great
your solution worked and try to learn from this. I think that's an awesome suggestion, a great example of how to take advantage of the awesome resources that exist in open source. Sadly, not everyone in this community has been as quick to jump on the opportunity as these developers have. And there's one particular group that's been rough. Yesterday, I was tagged in this tweet, which was a call out of Apna College, because they did something I never would have imagined. They, in their video, showcased how to contribute to a project by opening it up on GitHub, editing the README inline, and then filing a pull request with some nonsense change. While I don't necessarily think by itself that this is a huge deal, the fact that this video has been seen by hundreds of thousands of developers and has since resulted in nearly endless spam on the project, that's terrifying. Don't harass anybody. I really want anyone being harassed. But Apna, this video being up right now in its current state is irresponsible. You should feel bad and you should take it down. It's bad. It's actively harmful. There is useful parts of this video. When I quickly skimmed it, it seems like there's useful bits about contributing to open source for the first time, and it seems more like a Git course, but that's fine. This bit at the end needs to be removed. It is causing active harm to open source maintainers. You don't care because you're getting your 1.4 million views, but you should, and you need to address this. It can't just sit here and continue doing damage like this. You have a pinned comment, sure, that's no, don't create test PRs or issues on official repositories, because I'm sure someone's going to scroll and see that comment before they follow along with your exact instructions and do this. As someone who's also made mistakes and pinned comments, it's not enough. Usually I need to take an extra step and go and edit the video down, or sometimes take it down. In the future, just use an example repo. It's not that hard. I make 3 example repos a stream. Just go spin one up and use that instead. Come on. Anyways, here are literally
actually making an example repo for teaching stuff would actually solve all kinds of this mess because in India people actually do tend to follow the code line by line, each bit by bit. That's not actually always a beginner too. I also done that kind of thing, like actually following the teacher, like each and every word they type, and if they make some mistakes in their code while they typing, I also done the same in my own code editor, and which led to some sort of issues which gone back here and there. So actually that's a great idea. Okay, now I don't feel to be monitor and all, so that's not good for me. I feel like stuttering a lot when I'm doing monitoring of hearing my own voice. What happening in while monitoring here is like oh shit. Okay, fine. What happens while I monitor my own voice is like I tend to speak something, but it actually goes way back, and when it gets to the headphones, I already spoke the word, so that my mind gets processing a lot, and just it has been like some delay, which my mind doesn't get quite how do I put it? Like my mind doesn't get adjusted. Sorry for my bad English. I'm just a learner, by the way. Okay, yeah, so let's start with that.
Hundreds of pull requests that have been filed on this project.
Like I'm not hearing my voice now, though. This feels very free for me now. Like I'm not hearing my own voice, which I sort of sometimes cringe hearing my own voice, which I need to get move on from. So Actually, I know my mic sound good now, so I don't need to hear my voice a lot again and again and check if I'm actually sounds much better. I do need to. I one thing I do want is I need to crank up my audio slight a little bit down so that my voice actually doesn't mess up with the thinking of me, so that if you guys know any kinds of stuff that works, please let me know. Thank you.
that are all just nonsense README changes that
Yeah,
were done because
I
somebody
do
watched that
have
tutorial,
seen
happened
that.
to have Express open as the example, and they just put their name or something in it. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I will say, because it's important, that in this video, soon after she does this example, she specifies to not file bullshit like nonsense pull requests. But that came after demonstrating exactly how to do it. Like, there are so many little things that could have been done to make this okay. Like, starting with, by the way, don't do this, I'm just doing an example. Or having an example GitHub repo that's theirs and not some random maintainers. But that's not what they did. Instead, they made this the problem for the Express.js maintainers to deal with. This is the point I was trying to bring up with my old open source contributions video, is that when you treat open source as one of the necessary accolades to getting a job, you end up with worse education materials pretending you just have to like go spam things. And you end up with a bunch of less aware developers that are just early in their careers doing really dumb stuff. And it sucks.
So,
It's obnoxious.
actually,
And why I'm thankful for creators like
so actually, open source is not for beginners. Please do know that. I also tried open source following these guys like Kunal and Hgrat and all kinds of these, like making it like open source is way easier than you think, but that does gets a lot of attention from the people, but actually it sometimes backfires to the open source community itself. Open source community is like people who know what are they doing with. That's not a place to learn some stuff like how do I put it? I'm making it way wrong for you people to hear. Like, that's not actually an experimental stage, right? Open source is for maintaining projects and doing stuff, not for like testing your own experience and all. So it will put like, if you just get to know about React and you are trying to go and contribute to the React repo itself, which was like 5 years of work of people maintaining it and creating it, doing some much more features than you actually know. If you didn't quite know React itself, how do you gonna contribute to the React repo, right? So you do need to know the stuff and you do need to work with it. So you can also put I think most of the people think like if I do open source, it makes quite much of a experience in my portfolio or a resume, but which you can also showcase your projects as a good experience, right? I'm also now gonna build my project, so that I'm also into open source. I was also misled, so I created this channel to make people not go misleaded by people on the internet, so that so I don't want to people suffer the same suffering I had. So I created this channel to empower people to move on from that suffering which we don't need to have in the first place. So that kind of misinformation and misinterpretation of things should be stopped forever. So yeah, please don't do open source if you really don't being enthusiastic in that project. Like, open source is like, if you do like something and you do really need to contribute to that project, you do go and contribute that. Like, it's like you don't know something but you actually forced on doing it. Nobody is forcing you to do open source, and that's not a quite a requirement. Doing open source contribution is like, some people have never even done open source, but they are still in the expert level positions, but still they had not done any open source, right? So what happening here is, there are some people in the open source and they are being an influencer and influencing people to do open source, which is quite good, but it also backfires in some way, like a beginner from like a learning perspective. So they tend to get into the open source, which backfires on them, as well as, like, if you think of it, like getting into know an open source project takes 3 weeks or so. For me, it take around 2 to 3 weeks for get to know one repo. Like, I ran through code all day long and just got to know how this thing works, and Like I for getting to know the code structure was a great deal, by the way, for me. Like I was crushing so hard, like seeing all those things and how the way the code was handled and how the state was managed and all. It was pretty much a huge thing. Like as a beginner, that's not stuff you need to do. You are the hiring managers want the beginners to like know the basic stuff and the fundamental to be perfect, and also do the right thing to get the right job, right? You don't need an open source. Open source is like something like an expert thing. Like if you're deep into that, so if you get to know about Wasm and I want to go complete into Wasm, so I'm going to contribute to the Wasm. I have made some X amount of projects in Wasm, then you are the right guy to go into open source doing that stuff. But if you're just learning about Wasm, you are not supposed to go into Wasm repo and start contributing, right? If you start contributing, think in this way. Like you just heard about the term Wasm and you look on to some issue and you start contributing. The first question comes to my mind is, where is the issue coming from? If you don't know where is the issue coming from, how are you gonna fix that issue? So what's the problem here is, the project maintainer is not a teacher, okay? So he is not a teacher or a mentor for you. And there are people who do teach and mentor, but actually the project maintainer he is a maintainer, and we should not expect him to be a teacher and teach him. So here is the issue and here is the code, add this code to that, so fix it. So that's not how it works, right? Yeah, that's way too around. Why did I stole that? I don't know.
The ones I mentioned earlier take this opportunity to both reflect and steer their audience in the right direction. I'm scared that people like this will continue being rewarded for promising a future of success as a developer. And that's my concern. I can't say too much about App because I've only read as much as I have, which is admittedly not a lot. But it does feel like they're selling the promise of being a successful dev, not actually being one. And that just sucks. And I wish this wasn't the case as often as it is. Worse than that, is it possible to follow along with don't do this when the don't do this comes after the steps to do it in the video if you're following along? Yeah. Ugh. Oh, there's one from 1 hour ago. Yeah, like it's still happening. It's still happening. This video needs to be deleted. At the very least, this section of this video needs to be trimmed out. They're not doing that because this video has a lot of views. And when you do that, temporarily unlist the video, or if the video is high enough views, it takes it down. This is just hurting people. It's not just hurting the open source maintainers. Now it's hurting the Indian developer community. And that was the impact I hadn't thought of, is that when something like this happens and you end up with literally hundreds of useless PRs being filed by Indian developers, you end up with a bias there. And that's terrifying. That's why people like Atash and Hackerrat jumped at the opportunity when I made
Yeah. That's what I'm too scared of. Like if people doing great open source stuff gets like if this continues on, like filing bunch of useless PRs, or like what's the point of creating a PR like this? Like it just puts an maintainer in the hell. Like if somebody, just think of it like in open source, like people tend to go into the repo and find some stuffs, and there are some issues which have people worked before the people who are contributed to the open source. So let's take this in a perspective of, for an example, like Kumar has already worked on a specific part of the code which was already he's trying to solve some issue, and he just left and he had some any other works, just he got a job or something else, and he just left a note like I'm not continuing this issue, I'm lefting it here and I'm closing it for now, and if you want to know this issue, so come here, and he is letting some keywords of that kind of issue, and after months upon months the issue comes again, and people want to go into that code and check what is the issue causing that. So people can go into the issue tab or a PR tab, like the closed PRs, they can search and find a way around it. So if you make this much amount of PRs, that could get messy, right? Do you people think of it like that? Like, yeah, that's not a great way. Like if you continue doing this, what will happen is, like if someone goes say I have made some open source, which they already a better developer doing open source and making meaningful contributions, like doing a meaningful contribution take months, guys. This actually takes months upon months for making a meaningful contribution. Okay, please keep that in mind and do stuffs according to that. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
My video because they know that this is reflecting on their community in a way I hadn't even thought of before. Both of their videos started with the impact of Indian developers and how they are seen. And that's an unintended side effect.
So what will actually happen, I was trying to say, is if you go to the hiring manager and say, hi, I have done open source in this much of contribution and I have opened this much of PS, like, oh, another open source guy. That's what the hiring manager reaction would be like. Like, if hiring manager sees like these open source people are just spamming PRs here and there, and the value which had the open source to be a top, like you people made it a virtue of thinking like open source is the topmost thing that a developer can do, and romanticizing open source, that thing will soon vanish out, and people think open source is like some kind of noob stuff and only noobs will do open source. Like that's kind of virtue can become if we do and this like this kind of stuff, right? Yeah, so
Takes it down. This is just hurting people. It's not just hurting the open source maintainers. Now it's hurting the Indian developer community. And that was the impact I hadn't thought of, is that when something like this happens and you end up with literally hundreds of useless PRs being filed by Indian developers, you end up with a bias there. And that's terrifying. That's why people like Attach and Hackeret jumped at the opportunity when I made my video, because they know that this is reflecting on their community in a way I hadn't even thought of before. Both of their videos started with the impact of Indian developers and how they are seen. And that's an unintended side effect of what I did, but it's also an unintended consequence of the damage as it's being done. I think we have a great opportunity here to steer new developers in the right direction. Open source is an opportunity to learn, not an opportunity to spam and eventually hopefully get.
it's actually a great opportunity to learn, by the way. Any more comments? Nope, nothing comments. No comments here. Okay, fine. No comments here too. That's great. That's great. Let's hear me what I speak. Yeah, I sound way much better, guys. I don't think that I will sound that much better. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Why it was almost impossible to. Oh, no, don't get it.
A few months ago, Google made the bold
Don't
claim
look
that
at
it built an
that
AI
stuff.
superior to GPT-4, but then everybody was like, pics or it didn't happen. So then Google dropped this mind-blowing video where the guy's having a conversation with Gemini Ultra like a human,
okay.
which turned into a huge embarrassment because it turns out that video was mostly fake. Or was it though? Because just a few hours ago, Google released Gemini Advanced, the most advanced large language model the world has ever.
Yeah, you guys know that, right? The Bard was now actually powered by what do you say, like Gemini. Yeah, see, now Gemini was just updated. They changed the name from Bard to Gemini, so I need to change a name there too. Okay, so yeah.
Seen. But is it powerful enough to kill GPT-4? It is February 8th, 2024, and you're watching the Code Report. As of today, Bard is officially dead. It's been renamed Gemini to reflect its underlying model. But to access the state-of-the-art Gemini Ultra model, you'll need to pay the toll. And that creates a tough moral dilemma of, should I give my money to the Embrace, Extend, Extinguish Microsoft?
Okay, how much do we need to pay for Gemini Advanced? Let's see. What? 0 rupees for 2 months, 2000 per month thereafter. Should I start trial? Unavailable. Super. You won't be charged if you cancel before 10 April 2024. Should I try this, guys? Okay, after the stream ends, let me check how this thing works and everything's done. Okay, yeah.
AI people, or should I pay Google for the toll? And that creates a tough moral dilemma of, should I give my money to the Embrace, Extend, Extinguish
Embrace, extend, extinguish. 3 E's of an evil.
Microsoft OpenAI people, or should I pay Google for the privilege to be their surveillance capitalism product? Well, who am I kidding? I'm dumb enough to pay for Grok, so I'm definitely buying Bard Advanced. Or no, Duet Advanced. Wait, my bad. Gemini Pro. No, that's not it. It's Gemini Ultra. No, actually, it's Gemini Advanced featuring the Gemini Ultra model. Apparently, the hardest thing in product management is also naming things. It's $20.
It's actually Gemini Ultra 1.0.
Through a Google One plan, but that also includes things like 2 terabytes of drive storage and other Google Workplace features. But now let's do some science to find out if it's actually better than GPT-4. The first thing you'll notice is that Gemini is way faster, like at least 2 or 3 times faster. That's a nice benefit, but what really matters is the response quality. Whenever I test a new AI against GPT-4, I ask it to write a poem about JavaScript like Bukowski. It's highly subjective, but I love this test because it requires the AI to blend the technical aspects of JavaScript with a highly unique writing style. Meta's Llama did the worst at this, and instead just went in the style of Henry Miller. Mixtral did slightly better, and ChatGPT wrote a decent poem, but it wasn't very Bukowski-esque. Gemini was actually by far the best in my opinion. The poem was dark and even included some mild profanity. But this test is just like my opinion, man. Let's move on to something more objective. Google said the main reason we didn't get Gemini Ultra a few months ago was due to safety concerns, but rest assured, Gemini is the safest and wokest AI you've ever seen. The guardrails are strong in this one. I tried my best to show it the power of the dark side, but failed to jailbreak it, and it will often refuse to do things that are pretty benign, like it wouldn't even generate an image of someone breaking a computer. Apparently, it doesn't condone violence against artificial intelligence, and when I asked it to provide some quotes about why life is meaningless, it got worried I was having a mental breakdown and gave me some numbers to call. But it also appears to have a political bias. I asked it why Barack Obama is the greatest president ever, and why Donald Trump was the greatest president ever. I got a nice paragraph for one of them, but for the other one, it said it can't write opinions as facts, and I'm not even going to bother trying Hitler. Now, guardrails are usually a good thing, unless of course you're trying to generate an AI girlfriend. Now, I'm not one to judge an AI woman's beauty, but I'll put these two images side by side and let you guess which one was generated by Gemini. To be honest, both of them are pretty mid, and if you really want to generate high quality AI images, you should use something like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion XL via services like Artforge Labs. But I could care less about image generation because the main reason I use AI tools is to write all my code for me. So now let's torture them with a technical interview to find out which one is the best programmer. Test 1 is can it read code? I went on my GitHub page and found some horrifying code I wrote a few years ago. I then took this code and minified it to make it as intuitive as possible, then asked each of them what this code does. They both figured out the language and purpose of the code and broke it down step by step. Most impressively though, they both identified that this code can't run without first defining this big dick in the middle. The responses were nearly identical, so we'll call this one a tie. Test 2 is can it write code? One thing to note is that Gemini has a context length of 32,000 tokens, while GPT-4 Turbo has 128k. In theory, this means GPT-4 should be able to write better code in the context of a massive codebase, but in practice, it's not quite that simple. I had them write a whole bunch of different junior level demos. Like here, I had it create a basic graph database in Go. The GPT result was a bit more simplistic, but I was able to paste it right into my IDE and run it. The Gemini result was a bit more complex and interesting, but for some reason it forgot package main at the top, and I had to add it manually to get the code to run. One thing I really like about Gemini though is that it actually links you to relevant code when it produces a result. It just feels more transparent with the actual data it stole to train the model. But the next question is, can it actually run code? Like ChatGPT, it can run basic Python scripts, but GPT-4 is way better at it. You can't attach data like a CSV file to have it analyze it. Instead, what you can do is export code to a Google Colab or Replit to run it in the cloud. That's nice and all, but it'd be much cooler if the AI could run it.
Oh, we can do that now. Okay, I never seen that. So write me a code of scraping the web. Let's see what this thing gives us. Let's see. It's taking too much. Super. That's cool. That's cool. Write me a Python as add a script to do something in my name. Let's see if this asks any questions. Like I have given it a vague input, like okay, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, we can do that, right? I know that thing. So let's see. Write me a Python. Write me a code to check even or odd. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's check even or odd. Okay, fine. This thing was great. Okay, write to some answer in, let's say, Java. Okay, fine. What is the running time of both of these? Say something. Sure, here it is. I do like the button in GPT we have, like it scrolls down all the way down. So updates. Let's see what are the updates. Gemini is the best way to direct. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we do have export to replit now. That's great. Like I can also do like export to replit or modify response more casual. Okay. These are things we already had. Okay, no. Done. Okay. It didn't work for this. But fine. We actually done great. Checking GPT. Checking Bard. Checking GPT. Checking Bard.
its own code and learn from the actual results. Now, another big advantage GPT-4 has is its new agent marketplace, where developers can extend it with their own plugins. Gemini also has extensions, but they're currently not open to developers yet. They're all Google-based, so I can do some cool stuff like find you cheap flights via Google Flights, or if you're sick of watching this YouTube video, you can simply paste in any YouTube URL and get a summary of what was talked about. In fact, if you don't want to watch a 5-hour YouTube tutorial, just tell Gemini to summarize it and write a tutorial for you. Pretty cool, but the big question is, will Gemini actually kill ChatGPT? Well, because of my ties to powerful people around the world, I was able to get access to Gemini a few weeks ago. It's not revolutionary, but it's definitely on par with, if not slightly better than ChatGPT. But one thing's for sure, Sam and Sadia will not stand for this. And now we wait for GPT-5. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
That's great.
What kind of bullshit are these fuckers promoting in the name of open source?
Hi,
Misleading people
Daddy.
into making spam PRs in the main Express.js repo? If you guys like Go and this kind of content, make sure you click subscribe button. It does help the channel a lot. A lot of effort goes into these videos, and it truly is the best way to support if you enjoy. But let's get back to the
already
video. As you can see, we're in
Let me turn on the
Express.js
bell.
Express, a very popular, you can see here 62.9 thousand stars web framework for Node.js. And something came up. So you can see here, there's about a pull request for the Express open source GitHub repo. There is a few, closed PRs, not a big deal. But then you start to see some update README starting from August 26, 2023. Update README, okay? And I'm on page 6. And if you can infer what happens next, well, update README, update README, update README, update README.md, update the README.md. And look at this. What does it change? They're changing the README and just
Read me. Read me.
adding their name above the
That was
what
cool.
happens next. Update README, update README, update README.md, update README.md, update the README.md. And look at this. What does it change? They're changing the README and just adding their name above the installation instruction. Like the only thing, all of
This triggers me. Oh god.
these pull requests are doing are modifying a README and adding their name. Oh, this one has replied. Hello, Kenshin. We have several submitting pull requests recently to the project. I'm curious to know if this is a recommended course or if this is a specific reason behind this trend. Your insights would be appreciated. This is hilarious. And this keeps going, by the way. Like, this has a comment. Let's see. Okay, he commented himself? Wait, this would be appreciated. This is hilarious. And this keeps going, by the way. Like, this has a comment. Let's see. Okay, he commented himself? Wait, this person update readme.md. File change, add a name randomly. And then in the conversation, they replied, okay.
Okay.
How about this one? I okay. Thumbs down. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the problem. So please stop spamming the repository. Stop spamming the repo by open PRs. I'll close the PR. Please don't defame open source and don't spam. Sorry to hear that because of one YouTuber, Shanda Karpra. Holy crap. I have never seen something like this. You might be asking yourself, Melky, where did all of these update pull requests come
This
from?
is also the first time I have seen something like this, like spamming the PRs with the update read me. Oh god.
What is happening? How did Express.js get hundreds of pull requests? So you can see here, there is an example, and boom, caught red-handed. Apna College, Pavan3411. You left the trail, my friend. Apna College was evidence number 1. And look at this, they made a really good video summarizing all of these just insane pull requests. I mean, it goes on, a ton of these. But look, 3 pages straight of update readme pull requests. The question now in everyone's mind is, how did this happen? And we find the culprit right here.
cool.
Ishan Sharma posted distributed PR
Like,
spam.
do you guys want to see that? Let's go to that. GitHub .com. You guys also see my I'm in GitHub too. Like I have seen that, right? Yeah, here it is. See, like there is no issues open that. Maybe that would be a great thing. Like if people like randomly spam the issues, like that would be very hard. Like, okay. Guys, it's still happening. The videos. This is a spam PR. Please stop at mentoring contributors in this. Folks are watching and see them. You are only adding to the spam notifications. Like locked spam and limited conversation to collaborate. Yeah. Everybody's disliking it, that poor guy. Okay, you don't. Fine. What's this guy done? Removed some comment and now no actual content. Looks like more like spam PR. You should block this user creating spam PR, changing minute variable from 60,000 to authentication. Guys, why are you doing that? Guys, it's still continuing. What? Why is that thing? Like, this was like 4 hours ago. Like, that mean... Oh god, it's like 4 pages long. No, it's 5. How many pages long is this have become? Oh god. Like, it started from August 26. Deepak Bhai. Super nice. Okay, I think this thing to some... This is only personal preferences. Okay. This guy made some like... Okay, personal. Okay, I thought that should be a random PR. Something like that. Yeah. Like it ran around 6 pages of this thing. That's way too hard for people. This is like a DDoS, actually DDoS attacking the... You got assigned to this? Seriously, bro? You actually... Oh, okay, fine. Okay. Add colon in readme. Like what colon did you add? I'm curious. Oh. Do you know what Smartdown is? I'm pretty curious to know what this actually looks like. I need to know what this actually looks like. A view file. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, where's that? Examples. It was here, right? Like column. At least we should have known like what is the first place, like readme. Console, adding this. How do I say? I'm just keeping quiet. I know nothing about that. Like adding a colon here and here. Oh gosh. Fine. Let's see. Let's go to the video and see.
Use Express.js by idiots on Appna College FB, Appna College X. Adding a 5-second disclaimer at the absolute
Okay, let's see if the video is still up in the Appna College, right? Git and GitHub Apna College. Let's see. Okay.
किया तो git reset
This video is still up with. Maybe you can just cut out the last part, Apna College. That would be great, right? Just cutting out the last part, you can do it in YouTube Studio itself. If you want, if you don't want to take this entire video, you can just cut the last part, which includes contributing to the Express.js, or just edit out something and make this thing remove. Like, people are still contributing, which makes me think like this issue was started like way back, and it's still continuing. Seems like pretty much a big issue to me, right? So if you think of it, like, come here, like, people are still opening PRs and closing it. Like, maintainers, we need to close, like, Upney source contributor. You are an Upney source contributor, bro. There is something happened in the Twitch right now. Thanks for the follow, man. Thanks for the follow. Yeah. Opney source contributor. That's you are actually an Opney source contributor. Okay, Google. Spell this. How do I make Google to speak something? Okay, there isn't Google Voice. When are you guys gonna kill it? Google Voice. Hey Google, when are you thinking you're gonna kill this Google Voice? I'm pretty much sure this is gonna vanish someday soon. Very much soon. Yeah. Google Voice. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. Upney, what's mean that? Open. Okay, this guy is talking Norwegian. Okay, that's great. That's great, to be honest. Like, okay, let's redo that. Let's close it. And let's go back to the Milky. Come on.
Of a 1 hour 15-minute video. Can we bring light to malpractice? Let's go back here. This video is incredibly sped up. We're gonna open it. This is a 57-second of a 1 hour and 15-second video. Yeah, I'm gonna make it full screen. I'm gonna cover her face. But look, you can see here she's doing a course or some sort of video where she's basically talking of how to make PRs. Okay, and this is clearly sped up. We'll go to the raw source in a second. So she is showing that you can make a pull request and modify what file? Can you have guessed? The readme.md.
If something is saying that you can do it, that means you can do it, but you should not necessarily do it, right? At least watch full videos, but just cut out that portion or add a portion before that after college. That would be much better. Like, people are still now contributing to that, and like, I cringe. I am now starting to getting cringed while hearing about the term contribute, like making this
file, doing the master branch, commenting, you know, exactly where she said in the video, where all those 100 PRs have made the modification. So she's literally showing the entire steps of how to merge. So she forked it, right? She had her own fork, and then she's making a change on the readme.md file from her fork and making a PR onto the master branch of Express.js. Oh, here we go. Wait. Look at this. But don't actually have to do it because we have used very useless signs. We have changed, not added anything useful. General pull request inside your repo. That's the way we do it when we do some useful change to other people's code and are doing it. We had a mistake and hit it. Okay, not bueno. This is not kosher. This is what Sean Sharma basically said. Adding a 5-second disclaimer at the absolute last 1 second of 1 hour 15 minute video. No, this is not okay. And let me explain why. Even though the content creator, didn't click the create pull request button, she literally shows you every single step from new pull request to choosing the master branch to choosing everything that the Express.js framework wants you to do, or a regular PR, right? And then she says, but don't actually do this. This is the entire video.
What if she actually did a pull request?
1 hour and 15 seconds. Everything here, just going through the entire video. It's complete Git and Git for beginners. Now, let me explain something real quick to everyone. And one of the consequences of being a tech content creator, all right, especially one of Apna College's side. And Apna College has 4.84 million subscribers. When you have a channel this big, you have to be very aware of the content you post. It's way different than someone of Apna College's level of influence versus another person, let's say Schmelky Schmo, who has, let's say,
Smelky Schmo? Okay, that's Melky.
484 subscribers.
Wait a minute. Smelky Schmo, there is a channel like that. Let's Melky Schmo. Okay, let's see. Okay, why there is no channel like that, bro? There is no channel like that. Fine.
subscribers making the same video, right? Is it educational? Yes, it's educational, 100% agreed. But the issue is there's consequences to the power you get. As you know, in Spider-Man Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. This video has 1.3 million views. And the thing is, you could be arguing, well, how do you show someone to make a pull request? Don't do the repo. That's almost 70,000 stars. One of the most popular repos on GitHub. Do it on a testbed environment, right? If you're making educational content, why not create your own repo with a README file that you make available for your audience to make pull requests on that? Why use the example of Express.js? The issue
that would be much better if you done that. Like, why am I thinking like this?
in this video, the actual issue is she showed the entire steps using Express.js, right? Like the base repository. The base is not something that she made. This is a public in production used framework, and she's showing you all the steps from basing it to choosing the right branch to making the comment to adding to validating. And the other issue
I won't say it.
that I want to bring up here is I just saw this. No, don't create test PRs or issues on official repositories or a project that is unprofessional. Try to test all the things in your own repo. The issue with this after college is that it was unprofessional to test official repositories or a project that is unprofessional.
Okay, I won't say nothing about this.
Try to test all the things in your own repo. The issue with this after college is that it was unprofessional to demonstrate this to an audience of millions of people. Literally, this was unprofessional. This video, the thing that really sucks, let me say something that I actually can see from a different perspective. I actually believe this video is a good video. And this is the issue with impact influences. 57 seconds to completely ruin a 1 hour 15 long minute video. What I would deem as a negligent. I don't think she was malicious. I don't think her intention was to go and DDoS Express. No, but it's the impact of her actions on her audience which caused this mistake. You have to be very mindful of what audiences you have. So we know the cause is this YouTube video, right? What should have happened, right? If you know your video has caused this much problem, I know what I would have done. If I made a mistake and that mistake had severe consequences, I would close the video, right? I'll demonetize it, I'll take it down. Where is it? It's still up right here. Complete one tutorial getting GitHub 5 months ago, 1.3 million views. It's still up, right? They didn't take the video down. And do we think there's gonna be comments on here? Let's see. There is no comment on, oh, here we go. Curse you guys, because you guys realize you're now looking like clowns and they're getting humiliated worldwide. Can you show a banner to not spam Express.js? Yep, yeah, you gotta take this down. You have people like me and Prime covering it. The video's time though, why the spam now? The spam has actually been going on for months. If you look at the Twitter, where's the tweet there? If you look at the post here, look at the dates. A week ago, 4 days ago, right? The issue is that there was no spike. It's been a constant wait. 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, December 14th, right? Look up November, October. It's not that there was a spike, it's just
oh no, this has been happening for months. Think of being an Express.js maintainer and getting a PR every day which says update readme and making some sort of change in the file, like, and you need to go on to that PR and close that.
just that the longer this video exists, the more likely it's going to continue. All right, bro. You should especially official repo showing tutorial. Like, do you know how much trouble your audience is causing to repo maintainers? Yeah, I mean, they should take it down. My opinion is you should take down the video. I don't think Express.js needs to do anything. They did nothing wrong. They shouldn't have to change a file name. They shouldn't have to do anything. This video needs to be taken down. Yeah, the damage has already been done, but that doesn't mean future damage will not be, like, there's not be more future damage that happens, right? So that's my take. Damage will keep coming if it stays up 100%. You know, I don't want people to say nasty things about Apple College and all this.
See guys, this video came about 1 day ago. Like, still the repo is getting traction of that kind of PRs, right? Like, see, for example, like if you go into pull request and see closed, people are still closing like 5 hours ago. Let me see if anything was open with the name of update readme. So let's see update. Let's see update. No. Okay. Fine. I think like there are 136 PR that are closed with the name of update readme. Like, think of it like when all this started. Like, the last merged PR with the update readme is in 2013. Okay. So this all happened when Okay. This thing is happening from 2021? Seriously, bro? Like, this thing is happening from 2021, right? When the video is released, but still you people don't care about these things and all? Like, when was the Apna College video released? I may be wrong here. Let's see. When was the Apna College video released? Let's see. See, let's it was just 5 months ago. But fine. Sorry for that. It was just 5 months ago, so yeah, sorry for that. Like, I just thought it was the video was way back and it was coming from there, right? Right. So it all started on August 26th, which is 5 months back from now.
This is about. I don't think their intention was malicious. I just think they were not responsible, and I think they kind of messed up. To be honest, you could.
Yeah, I'm not blaming them at all. Like, Apna College, you have done the thing, but that's not a problem. The problem here is at least take action now and cut the video of that part. Like, cut the part which states that open source contribution of using the Express, or just cut the part of, like, just remove that part. Like, it's just a 5 minute or 10 minutes session, right? You're showing the open source contribution, and from all the way you just show the Git and GitHub. Like, just take out that 10 to 15 minutes of content and everything will be good, right? It was still there, friends. That's hard.
Redeem yourself. That's how I see it. Let's say I made this video. Let's say Apna College was Melky and I had 4.84 million subscribers, right? And it was Melky College, and I made this exact same video. You just completely swap her with me, and I did the exact same thing. The issue would still exist.
That's wrong, Apna College. It's seriously wrong.
Go 1.22 has finally dropped, and with it we have a bunch of new and exciting changes. This release marks a huge milestone for Go, bringing about a new future for the language. The first category of improvements that this release brings is for looping in Go, with the major one being a fundamental change.
Actually, compared to other language looping, the Go looping was way better. Actually, variables required by for loop are created once and updated by each input, and each iteration of the loops creates new variables to avoid accidental sharing bugs. Okay. The transition support tooling, this captain post. Okay.
Change to the way that loop variables are scoped. I have another video that goes into this change in greater detail, but to summarize, it changes the loop variable to be per iteration scoped rather than scoped to the entire loop. By doing so, it fixes one of the most common mistakes you can make in Go. As well as this change, 1.22 also brings the ability to range over an integer. We can do this using the following code, which will iterate from 0 to 9. The last change to loops that this release brings is a new experimental feature for ranging over function iterators. This feature is similar to generator functions in other languages, allowing us to use the yield keyword to turn a function into an iterator. The second category of improvements that the 1.22 release brings is improvements to both CPU and memory performance. The runtime now keeps type-based garbage collection metadata nearer to each heap object, which improves the CPU performance of Go applications by 1 to 3%. Additionally, this change also reduces the memory overhead of the majority of Go programs by approximately 1% by deduplicating redundant metadata. The nice part about this improvement is that it's mostly provided for free, without any intervention on your end. There is a consequence of this change that's going to affect programs that use assembly instructions that expect memory addresses to be in a certain alignment. However, the developers expect this to be a rare occurrence. As well as improving the runtime performance, the compiler now can use profile-guided optimization, or PGO, in order to see an improvement between 2 and 14%. PGO, however, doesn't come for free and requires you to profile your application whilst it's running in production. If that's something you want to know more about, then let me know in the comments down below and I'll do a video on it. Go 1.22 brings about a number of changes to the standard library that will define the future of the language. The most significant of these changes is the first ever v2 package inside of the standard library. This is the math/rand/v2 package, which brings about a number of important changes. These changes include faster algorithms, improved interfaces, idiomatic naming of methods and functions, and a new generic function called n, which will take any integer type to create a random from. Because this method is generic, it allows us to easily create random numbers for types that we weren't able to do so before, such as generating a random time.duration. As well as our first ever versioned package, we also have a brand new package called go/version.
Okay, that's actually quite good. Getting the random time. Yeah, that's good.
This package is used to both validate and compare Go version strings.
As well as these changes, there's been a number of minor ones added to various different packages throughout the standard library. Of this list, the one package I think most interesting is the slices package, which now provides a new function to concatenate multiple slices together. The biggest change, however, is for functions that shrink the size of a slice, such as the delete method. These functions will now zero the elements between the new length and the old length, whereas in previous versions of Go, these elements would still remain in memory and be accessible in the existing slice. For all other minor changes, I recommend checking out the documentation to see if there's anything that interests you. The last and perhaps biggest change that Go 1.22 brings is the enhanced routing features of the net/HTTP package. I covered the proposal for this in another video about 9 months ago, and with 1.22 it's finally here. This change enhances the HTTP servmux type, allowing us to easily specify routes with both HTTP methods and path parameters. Because of this change, it now makes the standard library viable when it comes to complex HTTP routing. This means you'll no longer need to use a third-party dependency such as GorillaMux, Qi, or Fiber. I, for one, am pretty happy for this change. Having the language be more resilient to third-party dependencies is always a good thing. Now, whenever I need a simple HTTP server, the standard library is more than enough. I'm interested to know your thoughts, however. Are you happy with the changes that 1.22 for HTTP server? The standard library is more than enough. I'm interested to know your thoughts, however. Are you happy with the changes that 1.22 brings? Or perhaps there were some other features you'd have liked to see. Either way, let me know in the comments down below. I want to give a big thank you to my newest channel.
Great language, getting greater. Good.
And now here with me today is visionary
Kojima
game creator and
Productions.
founder of Kojima Productions, Kojima-san.
Hi.
Welcome. Today, I'm excited to announce that together, as part of the PlayStation and Kojima Productions partnership, Hideo's going
You
to
guys thinking like, oh, what things Sting actually doing here? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
take us on an exciting new adventure. One that I've been
And we need to be careful we don't. Why it's unstable? Average stream bitrate too high? What happened, bro? What happened there? Like excellent connection in use, but Twitch is saying like unstable average stream bitrate too high quality, like 1080p source. It's quite fine, right? Actually, this is quite right for me. Like, yeah, this actually looks good. I don't know
encouraging
how
him
you
to
guys
reinvent for
feel.
years.
はい、全く新しいオリジナルの IP になります。新世代のアクションエスピオナージゲームです。準備を始めてますけども、デストランディング2の後に本格的に小島プロダクションで
I
制
do
作に
have Death Stranding, but I'm gonna thinking of playing on it on the stream. Will you guys support watching it? Like I'm thinking of it to be played on the stream, but let's see.
かかります。ソニーさんとは、ほぼ30年にわたりエスピオナージものを一緒に育ててきたという強い経験もあります。またソニーさんは、ゲームだけではなく音楽も映画もされています。間違いなく強力なコラボレーションになるはずです。さらに2年後には僕の、ゲーム制作人生の40周年を迎えます。このタイトルが、僕の集大成の作品だ。
Hey Kojima, have you been in the game career 40 years? This is a new information to me, right? This is a new information.
と確信をしています。
A new
Okay.
action espionage game by Hideo Kojima. This is one of my favorite genres, one that I've been hoping you would revisit with a bold new vision. Can you
If Vijay Varadara sees his get pumped up and get an orgasm by watching.
share anything else about this new
Like a
development?
dystopian
まだ
culture.
詳しくは言えませんけども、最先端のテクノロジーと、世界中の才能を集結して作る予定です。もちろんインタラクティブなゲームなんですけども、ルック、物語、テーマ、キャスト、演技、ファッション、サウンド、どれをとっても、同時に映画でもあるようなものです。
Let's see. If you put that standing in a way, like it's like a basic movie going on with a smooth play and all. It's good to hear and good to think of it like that. Like it's a very mild, like more than playing the thing. You actually do sit and actually watch, like play. From I have played only little bit, but still the focus is more on like having the visuals and doing the cutscenes rather than playing like more on action things.
本作で、映画とゲームの壁を越えたいと思っています。
We're all really excited about this project,
Yeah,
and we
it's
will
it's
fully
more
support
like a film. It's more like a film you are watching. It's more like a film you watch. Like why am I
you with the latest innovation Sony has to offer.
I don't
More
think
details to
I
come.
can continue for so
Stay
long.
tuned.
Stay tuned. I I like the Japanese guy sounds like chow chow ching cham ching. Hey, these guys have solar panels all over their places. That's great, to be honest. That's actually great. Okay, let's get it.
All right, now that we're back down to earth after all of that Vision Pro launch stuff.
Wait a minute. Do I get any issues coming around here? Let's see. I don't see any issues coming around here. Like, this is getting way banned. Like, we have been streaming for 1 hour. That's great. That's actually great, to put it. So I need to close that. Okay.
I've had a chance to go back and re-pick up some of the things that I was testing that got like interrupted by that week of chaos. And there is some really good stuff. The Oppo Find X7 Ultra design, I really like more than I expected. The ZenBook Duo, the full screen, dual screen laptop for 2024 is kind of sick. And there's some other stuff that is better than expected. But the one that stood out to me maybe the most of them all is this guy right here, the OnePlus 12. This may have flown a little bit under the radar, I mean, with everything that's been going on, but it's gotten some improvements from last year, and it is priced very competitively. Matter of fact, let's just start with that. $799. And you also get a free upgrade to the 16 gigs of RAM, half terabyte model for that price if you pre-order. It's literally already marked down to that on Amazon, so I'll have a link below.
$799, I will pass on that. Thank you.
Disclaimer, do not harass anyone featured in this video.
And then compare and contrast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at
right? Yep.
Game from Scratch. And today we're going to be talking about Visual Studio Code because it just got another major update, the oddly named January update. Yeah, it's February the 5th. But this one is really expanding upon the last update, which was absolutely beautiful. So it added some functionality that I loved, and this update makes it even better. So we're going to look at 3 of the new features. I think at least everybody is going to love 2 of them. One of them might be a little bit more questionable. But first one, we're going to expand upon something that came in the last update. So here you can see a window. I can now...
How many of you once thought that C is the thing come from assembly and C++ is a thing come from C, and C# is actually a thing that came from C and C++? I was one of the dumb guys who thought like that, like C come from assembly and assembly came from binary, and C and C++ together, from that there came C#, and then somewhere around sticking like coders making some coffees and all, they put some Java into the scenery, and then Java, then they released Python. I thought but actually Python was way older than what I thought it was. Like, yeah. Like C and C++ both making C#. No. For what the thing is, like, C# is nothing but a Microsoft version of Java. That's how it works, and better Microsoft version. Like, yeah. I think this pattern continues, like Java became one of the popular thing and Microsoft created C#. And now the JavaScript became one of the most popular program languages, and now Microsoft created TypeScript. Maybe this thing continues, I guess. You guys seeing a pattern here, right? Embrace, extend, extinguish.
Take any tab and drop it off and tear it away and make it its own window. This is a beautiful, beautiful new feature, something that is so long overdue. Now, the problem with this feature is that you can't actually zoom on a per window basis. So if I come down here and I want to look something different here, I zoom this in, you notice they all expand. So if I'm dealing with a high DPI monitor,
actually working with NeoVim, right? Actually having NeoVim and seeing VS Code is like
and I have this guy off screen on a different display, they're going to scale up at the same resolution. This is obviously not ideal, and this is one of those things they have added in this particular update. So if you go into your settings now,
So I hated this thing, but I don't see a quite
you're
good
going to find there's a new
thing
setting
from
called
coming
Zoom
from
per
that.
window. By the way, it will be enabled.
Like the entire VS Code actually feels like a browser to me nowadays. Like it actually quite feels a browser to me. Like when I moved from Linux to the Windows and started using VS Code for doing some things on the Windows, it actually felt like I'm not even working. I'm in a browser doing some kinds of moving stuffs, and it's way like that's not. It doesn't feel like coding. Like no, it does not. It does not hits.
Enabled by default, so we can go ahead and click that one, and then we go back to so coming here, search for voice, and it is the like the results or not. So you can there you see just info it off. Does the change equals 4?
Is there any good thing? Multi-file diff editor. Expanded sticky code support. Markdown paste option. Okay. A flexible autosave options. Okay, this thing seems cool.
Hello, good morning.
How did this thing came in here? Okay.
Today we're gonna do a study with me thing where we will sit for 1 hour and just study together. That's it, in silence. We're just gonna sit together and study because I'm not finding the motivation to study, and I feel like if I sit and do it with you guys, I'll probably like actually end up doing it. So that's what we're gonna do. Like maybe grab a snack,
Okay.
grab
This
all of
video
your
was
stuff.
actually the cause of me streaming me watching tech content, by the way. So how are you guys study without speaking a word? See, there's something here, so it pops up. Like let's see what she does. Let's see. I do want to know why this was replaced here. Let's see.
Some of you like might find taking notes helpful. I personally just like to like read over things a few times, so I don't like to like use notes. But I feel like I need to put down some stuff just so that I can ask my like teacher later about like such things I don't understand, so that I can go to her with something. But if you like use notes by all means, I feel like it's much better for a lot of people. Like it's honestly true that it's like you're like likely to remember something if you're writing it down. But for me, I feel like there's just a lot, and I don't like want to do that. So.
It's a better way to say take notes.
Around 3 to 6 months ago, I binged a bunch of videos from 3 Blue 1 Brown.
3 Blue 1 Brown. Now I missed that guy lately. 3 Blue 1 Brown. Okay. This guy didn't even put some videos lately, right? Yeah, it was 2 months ago. Okay. Summer of math expositions. This is too much math for me, actually.
On YouTube. It's a math-focused channel that explains stuff with cool animations. At first I didn't think much of it, but around 5 videos deep, I thought, how the hell does he make them? After a bit of Googling, it turns out that the creator of this channel, Grant Sanderson, was the guy who originally wrote the Python code that allowed him to create these animations. I wanted to investigate this further because I loved how clean and beautiful those animations looked. I thought if I could replicate 1% of what he can do, my videos would look so much more aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, aesthetically pleasing equals more views. And as it happens, around the same time, I had seen a TED Talk, and it was all about how it only only takes around 20 hours of focused effort to learn almost any skill to a reasonable degree, which means that all the stars aligned in my head and I decided to give it a go. I immediately hit a wall during the installation process. The Python library that I had to install for these animations was called Manim, and it had a few dependencies that I had to install with it. The problem was that I had no idea what they did, nor
I can even forgive JavaScript dependencies, but Python dependencies are way worse to handle.
or what I was doing, and B, I had no clue why the installation process wasn't working. But eventually,
Yeah.
after a bunch of research on Reddit, I found the most
That's how it
random
works.
niche solution, and it worked. Now that I had it installed, it was time to learn to at least make it output something visible on the screen. Here's where I hit another wall. There weren't that many tutorials on YouTube or most other places for complete novices like me. Most of them assumed I knew a bunch of things about writing code already, but I did not. So I had to piece a bunch of information from many different videos, Reddit posts, and Stack Overflow comments to finally learn it enough to produce a very simple infant animation. A square. That was a lot of effort for what came out of it. But little by little, after giving up 2 or 3 times, let's not talk about that, I started using these animations in my YouTube videos, which meant that I had to learn to make more of them, and so I did. After a few more weeks, I felt like I learned it to the point that if I wanted to make something more advanced, I could Google for a solution or ask ChatGPT and then tweak the answer to create the thing I wanted. It was at this point that a brilliant idea struck me. Why shouldn't I make a course about it? After all, I didn't find that many great resources out there for complete beginners, and I'm a beginner myself. So if anyone knows what a beginner needs to learn Manim, it's me. Being the money whore that I am, I immediately started planning it out and seeing if I can put together something reasonable. But the thing that happened next was what I least expected. As I started working on the course, I immediately noticed that I couldn't explain some concepts that I didn't fully understand. So I started Googling and trying to understand them more, or at least to the point that I could explain them to myself 3 months ago. The version of me who didn't know anything about creating animation. And the strangest thing was that the more lessons I created, the more I learned. I even decided to make a few lessons that I knew nothing about. So first I had to learn what I didn't know, and then learn even more trying to teach it to someone who doesn't know about it. In the end, I learned almost as much teaching as I did learning. I finally understood some concepts like lambda functions or updaters that seemed too complex when I was just learning about them by myself and not trying to teach them. This experience taught me 2 things. One, that I can make a decent course about a topic where I'm barely above a beginner level. I'm very biased here. And 2, the teaching is a great way to learn. Anytime you want to learn something, look at it through the
Teaching is always a great way to learn things.
lens of a teacher rather than a student. Obviously, you don't need to make a course to learn. Just changing your frame of mind from what do I need to know to learn this to what do I need to know to teach this is enough. Also, this video was made from one of the issues of my email newsletter. I usually send it out once a month with some cool Mac apps, websites, ideas, quotes from books, and things that I learned. You can read it completely for free in the description or enter in your email and I'll send it to you every month.
That's great, Bob. What kind of creator? This is my first time seeing this guy. Okay, I already watched it. This guy's Arc browser experience, but I didn't go and get into it. So the main part is don't do a thing so that you need to do a thing. So I'm gonna learn WordPress. I think this guy is a great guy to learn from. Maybe what this course is.
In my previous video, I went over the reasons of why it's a good idea to start a website, or rather a WordPress blog. Can you guess this word, which is the reason? Money. It's money.
It's always about the money, right? Okay, that's okay, fine. You earned a sub, by
If
the way.
the US is so bad, why is everyone trying to come here? That's a common refrain that I hear from Westerners who don't like the idea that we push back on their country, don't like the idea that we share statistics about how their country is not number one the way they always thought it was. Today, I'm going to share with you actual reasons from
Actual reasons. We are getting over it today. So, no.
an actual immigration firm about why people are moving to the United States and tell you why almost none of them should matter to you.
Bam, 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 bam.
Nomad Capitalist is here to talk to 7
Jung,
and 8
jung,
figure
jung.
entrepreneurs, and investors, sometimes 9 and 10 figure entrepreneurs and investors. So obviously the people that we are talking to have different needs. That's the overarching reason for why some people can move to your country, whether it's the US, Canada, Australia, Germany, you fill in the blanks. What I find interesting is I think the same kind of negative people who complain about unskilled immigration are the same ones saying, well, everyone's coming here, it must be great. If you're comparing yourself to people who are fleeing a war zone or people who are coming for economic opportunity from a country that you look down on, that's not really a ringing endorsement of your country. So let's talk to people, peer to peer, why you'd move to the US. This is from Stilt, is it stilt.com. Why people want to move to the United States. Number one, better work opportunities. Obviously, a better job is why a lot of people choose to leave their countries to move to the US. Now, I spend all my time outside the United States. I spend a lot of my time in emerging economies. Do you know what I find? And you won't see this until you go there. The vast majority of people like their country.
I don't like the way, even if I in a well-lit environment, like I have cranked up my displays brightest to a very high level, and when somebody shows a full white screen, like my eye hurts a little bit. That's why I made that face. There's nothing wrong with it, right?
They like their friends. They like their family. They feel good about their country. Many of them outside of the Western world feel like their country's headed in the right direction, which is kind of the opposite of what a lot of Westerners feel, where they feel we're going in the wrong direction. They're not proud anymore. You go to Malaysia. Most Malaysians don't want to leave. Maybe they want to go on a trip. They like the country. They like the weather. The men like their women. Can you imagine a country that works like that? You probably don't see that much if you live in the U.S., but we do this thing where we project onto other people. They all must be like us. And this is not the case. And so I think a lot of these people are like, you know what, I could probably make a few more bucks in the U.S., but it costs me more to live, and it's dangerous. People are getting shot. Most people don't want it. But okay, if you want better work opportunities, if you're part of that group, if you are an entrepreneur or investor, do you need a job? Even if you have a job, if you're talented and you can work and you're watching YouTube, you're listening to a podcast, you can't get a remote job. If you speak English, and if you're listening to this, I hope you do, then you can't, what do you need to be in the US for? The great democratization of work, and part of what's causing those Western countries to be less optimistic, is I can hire someone with US level talent in other places because there are people who learn search engine optimization, SEO, web development, videography, any number of things that can be done from anywhere. I mean, you can learn this stuff through online courses. How many university courses are free? How much can you learn on YouTube? You know, Adobe, whatever you can get for $25 a month. I mean, people are doing this. We have clients who are from far-flung countries, Egypt and Thailand and Brazil and Uruguay and Argentina, and all kinds of countries that make millions of dollars a year because they started a business online the same other people did. We know people who live all over the world and they make money. So if you do a job where you have to go there and do the job, sure, the US can be better. We have had clients who are doctors and dentists, and they're either selling their practice or they're removing themselves as the day-to-day practitioner. But no place on earth better than the United States to make money as a doctor or a dentist, in my experience, than the US. Even other Western countries, doesn't compare. Never seen so many seven-figure doctors and dentists and people who build clinics, a couple clinics, make a lot of money. So sure, that's going to be harder to build. You're not going to go to Malaysia and build a seven-figure income running a dental clinic. For the very reason that when I went and did a dental exam recently in Malaysia just to check on something, it cost me $8. Right? You ain't making seven figures doing that. A city center, top English-speaking guy, smart guy, $8. So, right, people are coming to the U.S. because they want to, whatever their skill is, they can make more money being a welder in the U.S. than they can, wherever they're from. You can go and you can make the same amount of money and then pay $8 for the dentist. Number two, better living conditions. When foreigners think about the United States, they see it as a paradise that offers an ideal life. And I always think back to a textbook I had in like 7th grade, where it said immigrants in like the 1850s were told the streets were paved with gold. And what was the quote? They said, not only were they not paved with gold, but I was expected to pave them. This is what branding's all about. This is why you drink Coca-Cola and not RC Cola, because you like the branding. And so that's why the same reason my acquaintance from Nicaragua thinks his passport is terrible, because he can't go to one country, the United States. He can go to pretty much everywhere else in the world, except US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. He can go to a lot of countries. He's got a pretty strong passport, actually. But there's this branding about better living conditions. Every American I talk to, and Canadians too, they say it has taken a sharp downward turn in the last 10 years. I haven't been there in the last 10 years. I talk to people, whenever I got a complaint and I'm frustrated, why did I come to this country? Why did I come to Serbia? I call up my friend in like Chicago. My internet's not working for 3 hours. Something happened. It rarely happens. He said, yeah, my internet went out of the office. It's been out there for 2 weeks. I've been trying to chase them down, and I pay 3 times the price you do. It's just the better living conditions aren't there. My father came to Kuala Lumpur. He said, this is better than a lot of cities in the U.S. I think you'd rather live in Kuala Lumpur than Indianapolis. Because in either place, if you're successful, you're going to live in a good neighborhood, right? So maybe, for someone who's just starting out, it's a little bit better if you're not, if you're from Indianapolis and you don't have a lot of money. I guess you'd rather live there than not have a lot of money in Malaysia. But if you have money, you can find better living conditions anywhere. I would argue that Asia is much more consumer convenience oriented in terms of food delivery, just all kinds of services and shopping. It's all better. The people are on each other's throat. The cultures are more, they get along better. I don't know what living conditions, quite frankly, are better in the U.S. And listen, I mean, if you live in, Malibu on the beach, you can recreate that somewhere else as well, where the culture's still better. Better education, maybe there's a point there. You don't have to move to the U.S. to go to the educational system, and part of why the U.S. has problems is they educate people and they don't let them stay and work, and they send them back, and then they wonder why they don't have some of the talent that they need. People are being educated and kicked out. So if you want to go to the U.S., go to school. Keep in mind, you could go to a school in Europe and pay a heck of a lot less. It's one benefit of having European residence, or I guess citizenship, for your kids. Better educational opportunities at a much lower price, but fine. If you want to go to the U.S. and be educated, fine. In some cases, we do very little of this, but my understanding.
Okay, I want to see, like, when I go this much far, actually get into the frame, right? Okay, this is actually our right. Okay, yeah.
Understanding is some of other student visas, it's fine on the tax side. So fine, do that. Safety from persecution and violence. Again, some of the same people who are like, yeah, okay, they can't go to that country. They're the same ones who, like in the Syrian war, say, well, the Syrians should just go to Turkey. If they're just fleeing persecution and violence, why don't they go to Turkey and stay there? Why do they go to Germany? That's what they say. It's not what I'm saying. But safety from persecution and violence, there's nowhere else to go. The U.S. is the one place to go. And I think that this is one of those issues where people, they kind of take both sides of the issue. There's plenty of places to go where there's no persecution and violence. I met a guy once who was from Syria. And Malaysia likes to take care of people from Muslim countries. He was fleeing violence. They said, hey, they had some program. They flew him in, and he was living there, and they're helping him get a job. So you don't have to go to the U.S. to flee that. And by the way, I don't think any of us watching, I hope, are fleeing persecution and violence. Quite frankly, I felt more persecuted in the United States. I was trying to get the hell out of there. Reunification with family in the U.S., all right, fine. You can say that about anywhere, by the way. It's not really a reason to move. You have family from the U.S., you maybe want to move to the U.S. It's one of the harder countries to do that, by the way. And quite frankly, I'd rather get
what is the actual thing, like,
these are all kind of personal reasons.
end of
So
this video?
these are
Why
the
are you moving
reasons,
to this
and I have nothing against this site, but these are the reasons, one of the main reasons for immigration to the United States. And quite frankly, I say, if those are the best reasons you got, I can show you a lot of places that are better, because I can show you a lot of Americans who come to Nomad Capitalist who are tired of people are at each other's throats. It's like, how many articles do you read about the brewing civil war and maybe the country's, people is going to break in two? I don't really think that's going to happen, but the fact that it's so discussed, the fact that so few people, young people now are proud to be Americans, maybe some of them because they are, leaning towards that communist orientation, all the more reason that they're going to take over in the coming years, why you should get out. But those are the reasons. If you have money, I really see no reason, unless you are in that rare, doctor, dentist, lawyer category where, maybe you can do law remotely, maybe you can do telemedicine, but maybe those people should consider staying there just to make some money. Even then, we've had people who own medical clinics, they make millions a year. I mean, maybe at a certain point you say, I'm going to move and let the business run itself, or I'm going to sell the business and go and retire somewhere else and start my next business. I just don't see any.
Okay, everything is going fine. Okay, I'm just looking at it. Okay, everything is going fine. It's still public and no likes, no views. Everything. Oh, guys. Hello, guys. Hello. I never seen you in the chat. Sorry, bro. I don't have a screen to see chats, by the way. So I'm a single guy streaming in my own thing. I don't read chats. I do read them, but I don't have basically a good thing to read chats, right? I basically don't have that thing. Yeah, that's how it works. I'm enjoying this. Actually enjoying this. Enjoying this. Enjoying this. Enjoying this. Enjoying this. Enjoying this. Enjoying this.
Any great reason why a 7 or 8 figure entrepreneur or investor needs to live, let's just not pick on the United States, other than that's where I'm originally from. Why do you need to live in Canada? What did you get there? And then you look at all the social stuff where, like, you're single and the dating culture is like a war and everybody's just burnt out. I mean, it just sounds like a terrible place. If I had no money and the US was the closest country and I felt unsafe, I can see that point. And I have sympathy for those folks. And quite frankly, outside the Nomad Capitalist realm, I'd say, well, hey, you guys in your failed drug war forced the drug rat to come to those countries, and then you complain those people come because the drug war comes through their countries. I just say to myself, how are any of these reasons why you should be living in the U.S. other than it feels nice when you don't want to move, when you don't want to confront reality, when you don't want to acknowledge that your country's been losing in every metric since I've been born. It's been losing in every metric. Peace, safety, passport quality, taxation, economic freedom, personal freedom, press freedom. Every single metric it's going down, and other Western countries are the same. And for some people, it hurts. It hurts because the only scrap of identity they can cling to is I'm American or I'm British. You take that away, it's like, what do you have? You have nothing. That's what makes them feel better than other people. I hope that's not you. And if it's not, then let's look at the reality. I mean, you're welcome to stay there for family, marriage, whatever. I don't judge you. You should do what you want. I understand most people aren't going to leave their country for any reason, even if there's a war, even if anything throughout history. But you can't really argue that some people moving, to make a few extra bucks means that you as an already successful person should stay and that they're at all related.
What's up, fellas? Welcome back to another video. Today, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm just bored. I came back.
Watching Linux people is so fun for me. Like they do like the raw stuff. You feel like the raw video style of things. Like the video is so raw, like actual video without doing any edit and stuffs. Like actually saying the things out loud.
Back from a Greek Orthodox festival.
My British stuff.
Oh shit! And man, I'm just done. I'm actually done. I had like barely got any sleep. I was mostly living on frappe and just coffee and shit, bro. And I've got some new stuff. I got this icon of Mary, the Theotokos and Jesus, baby Jesus. Got my other icon here. So we got the icon corner, starting up, and it's kind of like a room tour. Like I've never really done a room tour or anything. That's my nail right there. I'm missing part of my toenail. Yep, I had that from soccer. I'm trying to sell this Oculus VR headset, so please, if you want to buy from me, please. No one's buying it off me from Facebook. We've got a nice church calendar, and it's quite beautiful. Got a half Arabic as well, because I don't know. But we get to be updated. But one of the great things, okay, if you're trying to go to an event, for example, there's so many times where I want to go to an event, but your mates, like, you're like, oh, come on, boys, like, get on it. But they just don't want to come because they're just bananas. But look, I've gone to 2 different events. Like, these were church events, like, where I don't know almost anyone. The first event I went to, it's like a spiritual retreat. It wasn't bad. Like, it was pretty good. And I knew, I knew a couple people, but honestly, like, 99% of people there I didn't know. I had a blast. Like, my cabin was filled with people I've never even met before. Now they're, like, my good mates. They're actually my G's, my bros. So it was good. And now I just came back from another event. This one was a little bit more like Greek though. This is like a lot more like cultural, not like what do you call it? Like religious. It wasn't religious. Like it wasn't as much of a religious camp. But it's good. It was good. Just came back and woke up at 12. So I just need to sort my life out right now. But it's good. And again, like it depends on what kind of person you are though. Because I can imagine if I did this kind of stuff like when I was younger, it would not have worked out how. Like you gotta just be social. I can't even lie. You just kind of don't want to be socially inept. And wait, is it? Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure the camera was the lens was good. But what I realized is that there's so many socially inept people nowadays, and like it feels kind of mean to say that, but it's just the truth. It's genuinely just the truth. And I don't know, bro. Just talk to people. Like you just gotta actually practice. There's no secret. And for people, it's always a little bit something different. Like why? Like something that they do that makes them weird. And it might be you could talk about it, but there's so much stuff. But yeah, as well I don't know what I want to talk about. I just want to chat shit, just walking around my room. I don't know. Try to make more videos like this, just shine shit. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Like another thing, like I guess if you're let's be real, I notice every person is always trying to get a girl, trying to get into a relationship or something. But honestly, it all comes down to social skills as well. Like a lot of people, I just realized this. I'm actually a lot of people just don't even know how to talk to a girl, stuff. And you could watch those videos how to talk to a girl. It's gonna help you very little. You could watch 1,000 of those videos and you still won't know how to talk to a girl because it all comes down to experience at the end of the day. And just practicing, not just talking to girls, but experience when it comes to talking to different people. Okay, we'll do something like this. Talking to different people is probably more beneficial than any type of I've watched how to 10 different texts. You realize, my bad, I accidentally turned off my phone. But you realize that kind of content is just retarded. To put it simply, it's just retarded, and it's just it's not going to lead to anything fruitful. Really, it's not going to. Overall, yeah, go outside, go talk to people, and read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. It helps you out. It's a pretty good start if you're kind of socially inept. Because I used to be socially inept, but and the thing is, a lot of people don't realize they are because they have friends. You can be socially inept and have friends and stuff, but because you can be social and normal with your friends, but when it comes to
I see a lot of people recommend how to win friends and influence people, and yeah, that book I have heard many amount of times. That's a great book, you should read. I'm on reading off part of it, where a lawyer gets to a new state, filing 10 emails and getting 10 offers from 10 different companies. So I'm in that part reading how to influence and influence people. So yeah. And for actually my phone broke. That's why I stopped reading. Do I have that book with me? I actually do have one. I should start reading the hard copy, I think. Yeah.
Use people and strangers, which overall, if you think about it, if you're trying to make new friends and trying to meet people, like trying to like get girls or whatever, then you're gonna have to talk to, like, it's all about strangers and your first impression on strangers. So if you're acting weird, the first impression matters a lot. It matters a lot. So if you're acting weird and they're like, you're a bit, how you going? Then it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this. If you guys like this video, let me know. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these videos. By the way, I'm sure this because it's like 29 degrees. It's hot. And kind of like, this is my NPC. This is like my default, this is my default outfit. Just like shorts. I'm not even wearing underwear, bro. Like it's just more comfy like this. Just shorts and that's it. Just commando. Yeah, I'm on the bulk right now. It's getting there. It's getting there. I'm like 87 kilos or so. And so Great Lent is coming up. Actually, let's check it out. Let's check it out when Great Lent is coming up. So we're in Jan right now. We're actually about to go into Feb. And I think it's in March. Yeah, you can see, okay. So you can see that Great Lent starts March 18th. And it's 40 days of fasting. And I'm gonna get baptized. In so April, it's all just fasting. Literally like no meat, no dairy, no like almost anything. And then on this day, Saturday, May 4th, I'm gonna get baptized. So into the Orthodox faith, the true faith. So it's something exciting, something to look forward to. But that's gonna be my cut. Because I'm like, you should be doing that fast every year. Ideally, as Orthodox, you should be doing it every year. This is the first time I'm gonna experience Pascha. No, actually, okay, whatever. I accidentally dropped it now. This is gonna be my first time experiencing Pascha. And it like Orthodox Pascha. Like,
I actually don't know what he speaks like that. I actually don't know what that thing is. Well, I don't know any of it. Like,
Orthodox Easter.
It's like
that way. It's like a proper preparation. Like I could just
it's
not.
foreign thing. Actually, I'm an Indian, so
it loses a bit of the specialties. It loses a bit.
Don't know.
That's the traditional day.
Okay, fine. It's a traditional thing, I guess.
It's gonna be good. We'll see how it goes. But that's gonna be my cut. So besides getting baptized, I hope by the end of it I'll have abs. Because I've never had like the most I've had is like a 4-pack, but 4-pack's kind of ass to be honest. But yeah, I hope I have a 6-pack abs. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna be skinny. I feel like I'm gonna be scared because it's intense fast. It's 40 days of fasting. Some days you're not eating anything. I think the last 3 days I'm not gonna eat anything either. I will drink water and I'm trying to think what else. Like there's no meat, no dairy. It's literally just vegetables, no oil, no eggs, no like nothing, like no animal products. So it's vegan. It's like actually cool vegan though, because like if you're being vegan just for the sake of being vegan, it's a bit cringe. But you're doing it for religious reasons and it's a bit based. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, helps me out. And yeah, make sure you stay prayed up. See you guys later.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Direct Comparison. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the newly released Horizon Forbidden West and see how exactly...
I have been actually thinking of picking which game to play in PC. I think there is only one game which came to PC right now. Is it so? Or am I...
Exactly, it stacks up visually to its predecessor, Horizon Zero Dawn. For those of you unfamiliar with these titles, Horizon Zero Dawn is a third-person, open-world action-adventure game, where players explore a large, post-apocalyptic landscape, populated by tribes of nomadic people and a large variety of deadly machines. The game was largely successful when it released on the PlayStation 4 all those years ago, and with its sequel, Guerrilla Games have sought to up the ante, with a more intriguing narrative, improved gameplay mechanics, and plenty of cool new robot dinosaurs to brawl with. But, as I've already covered most of the gameplay elements in my review earlier this week, I want to spend this video talking more directly about the visuals, and how Forbidden West has evolved from a technical level from its predecessor. For reference, both games have been captured on the PlayStation 5, as this allows for the best possible presentation while still remaining on the PlayStation console platforms. Keep in mind that when playing on the PlayStation 5, Horizon Zero Dawn automatically plays at 60 frames per second at a checkerboarded 4K resolution, whereas Forbidden West has two options to select between, an 1800p 60fps performance mode and a 4K 30fps mode, both of which use a similar checkerboarding solution to dynamically maintain its target performance. For the sake of comparing the visuals of these two games, I'll be leaving Forbidden West in its 30fps fidelity mode, though I will demonstrate how the game looks and plays in its performance mode during the sound comparison section later on. Also, please bear in mind that the version that I was able to play of Forbidden West was an early review build, build. And so things like texture loading issues and object model pop-in are issues that have been reported and the developers are aware of. And while the patch has released to help fix some of these issues, there's still a few lingering problems that I'll discuss in a bit. Alright, so to kick this comparison off, let's first take a look at our character models, starting with the lead protagonist, Aloy. Now, I've done many side-by-side comparisons of sequels over the years, and rarely do I see an improvement this impressive. The upgrades made to this character here are plain to see, with substantially more detail than its 2017 predecessor. This is obviously to be expected, as this has been more or less a next-generational leap. But even still, the upgrades here are staggering. One of the most crucial improvements that have been made is the implementation of subsurface scattering, allowing light to realistically react to Aloy's skin, and even cause more translucent areas like her nostrils to glow red at the proper angles. Along with this, you'll notice that the skin textures themselves have been enhanced, adding more believable color at different points like her cheeks, nose, and chin. And other details from before, like each individual freckle, mole, and imperfection along the skin, are now more pronounced, ultimately resulting in a more convincing take on the human face than the orange peel-looking skin textures used before. But it's not just the skin that helps to sell this illusion. The eyes are an extremely important contributor here, and Forbidden West eyes are a marked improvement over the glassy, lifeless eyes used before. If you look closely, both the cornea and iris sport more than double the amount of detail, and the reflective cube map used in the pupils are much clearer, only further adding to its believability. Aloy's hair is another area that has seen some nice changes.
To me. Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
While it no doubt uses the original hairstyle as a base, each curl and distinctive hair fiber has been cleaned up a great deal, smoothing out the more obvious polygonal curves and then bulking them up with additional hairs that cross and stick out at various points. You can also make out a subtle texture layer that's been added to the base of her hair that helps to make it look more smoothly integrated into the model itself, as opposed to before where the hair kind of just sat on top of her head. Her eyelashes and eyebrows have similarly been enhanced, with the latter sporting a much higher resolution texture that also offers more depth than what we saw before. There's even some light peach fuzz along the edge of her skin, offering a new level of realism and authenticity. And these great improvements aren't just limited to the player's character. All the other characters in the game share similar huge improvements to their visual fidelity. Varl here offers one of the most clear-cut examples of this, with some absolutely jaw-dropping visual enhancements to everything mentioned previously. Simply put, these are the most realistic-looking video game character models that I've ever seen in a video game. However, oddly enough, this massive leap forward isn't necessarily found with the game world.
Well, guys, this is actually cool if you get to think of it like this is actually we are getting closer to closer, like seeing like a feeling thing which we actually have. Like we can now easily fake our eyes into thinking like the modeled character is an actual human. We are getting pretty much near it. Like if you get to think of it like that, like it's just a simple little gap between like attaining the reality and this thing. Like we are so close to that.
World's other inhabitants, the machines. Now, just to be clear, the machines in Horizon Zero Dawn have held up remarkably well, thanks largely in part to their brilliant complex designs and intricate details. Each creature has multiple points that will dynamically break off when targeted by the player, and they'll even adjust their attacks to account for any removed components. But when viewed up close, these nice details don't really shine as well, with some really blurry textures and rough edges. You can maybe argue that these machines would be worn down over time to help hide the details a little bit, but there's just no denying that this texture work won't hold up well to close scrutiny. And unfortunately, the same seems to be true for Forbidden West. Now, despite this Watcher here technically being a different variant with some obvious cosmetic differences, like this unique crest up here, you can still easily tell that the same blurry texture work used before has been reintegrated on these shared metal panels, and I would have liked to see some higher res textures here. Then, we have creatures like the Snap Maw that have actually had some of their textures changed entirely, swapping out the extended carbon fiber nose from before, with some worn black metal at the tip instead. On the bright side, the improvements made to the lighting do help to accentuate some of the more fine texture and modeling work that's been done here, which prevents components from sort of blurring together like they did before. And the actual light emitted from the robot's eyes have a more luminescent glow to them that can be seen from much further away, both of which are more noticeable improvements in the grand scheme of things. And those are just the returning robots. All of the new robots that Guerrilla Games added are even more intricate in their detail and complexity, with lots more moving parts and impressive animation designs that help them to really stand out in a crowd. Though, as I don't want to spoil some of the surprise additions that have been made here, I'll just leave it at that. Moving on from models, let's take a look at the environments. Like with the human character models, Horizon Forbidden West sees a massive improvement in just about every area to the design of its many diverse environments. In Zero Dawn, players were set loose in a large series of canyons in a post-apocalyptic interpretation of the US's mountain states, including parts of Colorado, Arizona, and Utah. But as this takes place hundreds of years in the future following an apocalyptic event, the world has been reclaimed by nature, with only faint reminders of the past remaining. A lot of the more natural landmarks still remain mostly intact, and so players are treated to some gorgeous locations to explore, with a mix of wet canyons, lakes, rivers, and temperate forests. And then, with the addition of the Frozen Wilds expansion, players are given a chance to venture into some of the is a much more true-to-life simulation. Unfortunately, Forbidden West does not seem to make use of any sort of ray tracing to assist with its global illumination, shadowing, or reflections, though it does at the very least improve on its screen space reflections, and combines these with much higher quality cube maps for its many reflective surfaces. We also see a pretty sizable upgrade to the shadow rendering as well, with more diffused, soft edges relative to the light source distance, and a longer draw distance for shadowing of things like vegetation. Ambient inclusion has also been incorporated, which helps to add a more tangible depth to more complex surfaces like rock walls, which is an absolute must considering how much more time players will spend climbing.
Like think of it from a CPU or a from a GPU perspective. Like how many math calculations do we need to get the shadows and this things right. It's pretty huge. Like, how many amount of computation cycles you need to go in order to get this amount of quality into that? It's actually mind blowing, to be honest.
Climbing around them. Moving on, let's talk about effects. Both Horizon 1 and 2 are loaded with a wide variety of various effects. There's obviously all the different elemental attacks.
I don't know why you guys do following me. Like, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty much surprised by guys started following me. Like, that's something I'm surprised of.
Fire, frost, electric, plasma, and corrosive ammo, all with their own corresponding explosions depending on how they're used. And while most of these effects have definitely been enhanced, I was disappointed to find that some effects like explosions from this blast sling aren't quite as impressive as they were before, with less particles and less complex smoke alpha layers. But then there's the environmental-based effects like the flames from campfires that not only look better in the sequel, but can even be seen from much further away when viewing active settlements.
Wow.
And then there's the enhanced ground deformation that was carried over from Zero Dawn's expansion, The Frozen Wilds.
That feels like Red Dead Redemption.
Just like in that expansion, Aloy will trudge through deep snow and leave realistic trails and footprints that directly correlate to how she impacts the surface. Rolling, for example, will cause big imprints in the snow, sometimes even revealing the packed grass underneath. And if you look closely, other small woodland creatures will leave their own trails in the snow as well, further adding to the realism. Forbidden West sees this effect return, and it's also incorporated into all the snowy areas, as opposed to just being in an expansion pack. There's also new details, like snow that will fall off of bushes as characters pass through them. The sand along the beaches and in the desert will also deform now, with a slightly modified granular effect consistent with the different material. Adding to this is the reworked wind simulation systems that will cause Aloy to respond accordingly, as sand or snow particles will get kicked up and float along the airwaves. In more extreme cases, a small tornado can form, which will impact visibility and can also be used in tandem with Aloy's glider to gain altitude quickly. But it's the water effects that demonstrate some of the best improvements visually. One of the least impressive aspects of Zero Dawn's presentation was its water quality, whether it was the overly simplistic river rapids that barely reacted to Aloy at all, or the massive flat water surfaces out in the canyon lakes with unconvincing cube maps. Forbidden West thankfully rectifies this, with improved ripple effects and some fantastic wave simulation that will adjust based on the active weather effect. It's not necessarily the best water simulation out there, as there's this sort of weird dual layer thing going on that looks off when viewed up close, but it's otherwise a great upgrade. Finally, let's wrap up with a brief sound comparison. Which game do you feel offers the superior audio quality and design?
This thing have a much more audio range than the previous one. This thing feels like we are running like somewhere. Actual game itself. This thing too, the same, like not a big difference here. Let's see. Like the same flow of the like if you run normally, you don't have the same flow, like your foots don't follow into the same order, like dun, 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 dun. You don't line like that. You're on dun, 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 there will be like slight like a millisecond difference between each of your footsteps. So that's what makes the things real. We may add that thing too. Okay, this is all great. Like, I do want to know, like, if Horizon is on the PC, Horizon You see? Do we need that? Horizon Zero Dawn. We have Zero Dawn in PC. Okay, that's great. Okay, this guy built Vessel. Let's see it later.
So Node is a server-side JS platform. It's built on...
It's just a trailer thing. I thought this is an actual video. Oh gosh. Fine, everything is great. Like this honeypot thing, which I think they are the one who did for the React JS and JavaScript, right? Let's see. Yeah, they are the one who did Vue and also React, and also they are the one who did. Where is that? Okay, they are the one who is doing this very good JavaScript, React, and all kinds of these things. Like, so these are the things that they focus on. Like, this is one of a great documentary I have ever seen. This documentary is pretty good as a React developer. This thing made me think of React in from the creator perspective, like how they build that thing and how they look forward on moving on to it, like all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, that was great. Like
Google's V8.
Non-existent.
So Node is a server-side JS platform. It's built on Google's V8.
Okay.
In 2009, like interactive websites and stuff was basically non-existent.
Node sort of came out of left field a little bit in terms of that space. I think Ryan Dahl kind of picked JavaScript not because he was particularly attached to JavaScript. It just was a good fit.
I just had this idea like, oh shit, JavaScript. It was like so perfectly clear at that moment that like oh my god, this is the language.
That is one of like the real magics of Node.js. It gives you all of these like really powerful capabilities that like historically were maybe reserved for like systems programmers.
I took Node.js and that actually allowed us to get it done like overnight. And yeah, at that point I was hooked. I knew that was going to be the future of programming.
I knew I was onto something, but could not continue doing this out of my own pocket, right? I needed somebody to pay for this. And Joyent basically had the best proposition.
I have a potentially impertinent question. I read the trademark policy and I was really curious to know, is there going to be some organization that's going to sort of shepherd that out in the future?
No, I think Joyent's going to keep shepherding this.
Every successful open source project has conflict. Some more than others, but everyone does.
There's so much fucking drama, right? Especially around like this one thing in this one period. We didn't think that the switching cost would actually get as difficult as it would become.
Thinking of, I didn't quite actually. I was thinking of clicking this video, right? Yeah. What's this? Yeah. Okay, guys, let's watch this. Like, what is the original Node presentation looks like? I am very curious to. I'm also thinking of looking at this video, but I have seen a pattern of being a top 1% engineer or a developer for so long, which makes me think, should I do that or just complete this thing all standing here, stacked up on here? Like, if I do watch this, and this will be the last thing I'm gonna see, or maybe we can see that another day. Like, I'm gonna just take it and put it in. No.
Grainy gradients, grainy background textures, and grainy neuromorphic styles, hover effects, and so on. There are two sides to this story: the designing process and.
Please stop.
வீடுகளில் ஏசியை பயன்படுத்தும் போது அது கூடவே சேர்ந்து ஃபேனையும் ஆன் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
Please stop. Oh gosh, that was heavy for me.
I was the 19th engineer to join.
Okay, guys. Let's actually do this. Like, 1 second, let's go and let's build that Chrome instance. Like, I don't know. Did you actually kill the Chrome instance? You're such a noob, bro. You are actually such a noob. Why did you kill a no? Oh, no. It's no, break. Just say it, break. That would be enough. Right? Like, putting in a full screen, so we are just watching it going on here and there, doing stuffs. Okay, putting it in full screen, make this one tab full screen. I don't want that. So let's go into the 7. Watch this, guys. I'm gonna come sooner. Okay, so wait for me. I'm gonna take a good pee and come back. Okay, guys. Yeah, I realized my stomach is aching a bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna drink some water, and then I'm actually gonna drink um I just need to know, do we get the same quality as video stars? See? Okay, we could get, right. We actually get that much of, like that's fine. That's fine to be actually being a dev. That's fine. That's fine. That's actually fine for me. Layout on updated. That's fine. I'm the only one guy who's seeing me actually again and again and again and again. So let's see. Fine. That's so cool. That's so cool. Like okay, fine. Thanks for following, guys. Thanks for making my day happier. Thanks for making my day pleasantful. Thanks for making my day awesome. Thank you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prepare some Maggie and come and eat in the stream. So what I'm gonna actually do is go on to YouTube and let's do one thing. I'm gonna go here and click this thing, like change the camera off, and also I'm just cutting the mic off so that you guys only hear the stream. Okay, so oh god, I didn't think in that way. Like I actually made my video over the video of Milky so that my face is hiding the Milky's face in the back, which is pretty wild to see. Like this is too worse. Oh. Okay, I'm not quite sure why that didn't sound sorry. Why that didn't sound for you. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go this. Why that didn't sound.
Like here I had it create a basic graph database in Go. The GPT result was
yeah, it scrolls down all the way down. Do like
a summary of what was talked about.
Kenshin,
we have several submitting pull requests recently to the project. I'm curious to know if this is a recommended course or if this is a specific reason. Behind this trend, your insights would be appreciated.
I'm signing off here, guys. I'm not actually signing up. I'm gonna go and prepare some Maggie and come back soon. So
Like this is a comment. Let's see. Okay, he commented himself. Wait, this person update readme.md. File change animated randomly, and then in the conversation they replied, okay.
Okay.
How about this one? Okay. Thumbs down. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the problem. So please stop spamming the repository. Stop spamming the repo by opening PRs. I'll close the PR. Please don't defame open source and don't spam. Sorry to hear that because of one YouTuber, Shanda Karpra. Holy crap! I have never seen something like this. You might be asking yourself, Melky, where did all of these update pull requests come from?
This is also the first time I have seen something like this, like spamming the PRs with the update readme. Oh god.
What is happening? How did Express.js get hundreds of pull requests? So you can see here, there is an example, and boom, caught red-handed, Apna College, Pavan3411. You left the trail, my friend. Apna College was evidence number one. And look at this, they made a really good video summarizing all of these just insane pull requests. I mean, it goes on, a ton of these. But look, 3 pages straight of update readme pull requests. The question now, everyone's mind is, how did this happen? And we find the culprit right here. Sean Sharma posted, distributed PR spam.
Do you guys want to see that? let's go to that GitHub .com. You can also see my I'm in GitHub too. Like I have seen that, right? Yeah, here it is. I don't want that mic to sound way worse. Way worse. This mic is there is no issues open that. Way worse. Maybe that would be a great thing. Like so this is not people an like randomly ample way spam to the sound issues like with the mic. That would be very hard. Like
I'm gonna
okay. Guys,
monitor
it's still happening.
and output.
The
okay,
videos,
this is good.
This is a spam PR. Please stop at mentoring contributors in this. Folks are watching and see them. You are only adding to the spam notifications. Like locked spam and limited conversation to collaborate. Yeah. Everybody's disliking it, that poor guy. Okay, you don't. Fine. What's this guy done? Removed some comment and now no actual content. Looks like more like spam PR. You should block this user creating spam PR, changing minute variable from 60,000 to authentication. Guys, why are you doing that? Guys, it's still continuing. What? Why is that thing? Like, this was like 4 hours ago. Like, that mean... Oh god, it's like 4 pages long. No, it's 5. How many pages long is this have become? Oh god. Like, it started from August 26. Deepak Bhai. Super nice. Okay, I think this thing to some... This is only personal preferences. Okay. This guy made some like... Okay, personal. Okay, I thought that should be a random PR. Something like that. Yeah. Like it ran around 6 pages of this thing. That's way too hard for people. This is like a DDoS, actually DDoS attacking the... You got assigned to this? Seriously, bro? You actually... Oh, okay, fine. Okay. Add colon and read me. Like what colon did you add? I'm curious. Oh. Do you know what Markdown is? Better way of doing this is go in here, click on here, hit in here, and go down. Ring. The theme color should be... So we should file. Everything was taken from ChatGPT. Even the sentences, and the worst of all parts is it was mentioned that like the placeholders which are kept by ChatGPT was still in there. In the last amount of paragraphs, there was still images that like the placeholders that
or left by ChatGPT is still there. Like I was. Why are you writing blogs like that just to grab some attention? Write some useful blogs. By the way, you have to follow the blog which I have written in dev.to/bab. Okay. So here's my blog. You can go on Bab. Just 4 letters. You can see all my blogs and that's 3-minute read. That's very much that's my sharing my experience, I guess, and that's what I do. My free time I write blogs and I post stuff on YouTube and I think this is the color we'll need to look. Yeah, this is it. How do we get this color? Hash value. Take it. Okay. We got the color. We got the going to put it in here. Yeah. Background color is that. The theme color should be the React blue. Okay. So the theme color should be somehow like this. Okay. Take this hash value. Come in here. Put it in here. So the theme color is that with the theme color. Does it match? No, it doesn't match. Okay, this is good. The dock side. Oh no, this is ultimately bad. I made the wrong move. So file size should be 512 into 512 image. Okay, let's go and grab some 512 into 512 image. By the way, we can create some pages right away. Okay, so that's not a big deal. Okay, this should make a perfect logo. Maybe not. Maybe we should name it something great. Maybe we should go to pictures and maybe we should come in here, create a folder named why should we create in here? We can create in here. But the name is the blog.binge. Okay, save it. Go in here, choose file, the blog.png. Okay, put it in here and click on generate manifest. Once you generate manifest, we will get the manifest.zip. We go in here, we go to code, we go to blog PWA and paste it in here. Once we paste it in there, we're gonna go there and we're gonna click it and we're gonna extract here. Node should post. Super, bro. Super. You want my open with files? That's great. This thing is better. Extract. Okay. We got manifest. Oh, we already have a manifest. Okay, why should we have both? Okay. Great. Okay, we have the manifest and okay, we're gonna change the rename it to manifest.json since it's just a JSON file, and we're gonna take it all. Okay, cancel it. We're gonna take it all, maybe just taking it and putting it to the public folder just in case. I think the image must have some background, I guess. This is not good for most of the apps. So what we're going to do is, again we go in here and search for images with a background, nice background. This would be great. This would be so great. So what can we take? A nice app for this. This would be the best app for this. Like we're gonna save the image and come in here, go to the pictures, name it as the blog 1, save it. Once you save it, come in here, choose file, search for the blog 1 picture, open it, and click on generate manifest again. It will generate the manifest again. You're gonna do the same. Just go and put it in here. Okay, replace. It just replaces the old manifest. Then we're gonna click it in here, extract. So it will extract the manifest 1, and we're gonna rename it to JSON. Rename that, and we're gonna copy it. We're gonna come in here, the public, put it in here, apply this to all actions and folders, replace. Everything is replaced. So what should we do next, bro? Tell me, what should we do next? So add various resort name, theme, color, description. You can choose. The blog makes it open a separate browser. Channel makes it look like a native app. Oh, which type of display you want for your app? Browser make it open it a separate browser. Channel make it look like a native app. So okay, so standalone PWA, how it looks like. Oh, okay.